from Mantic, guys, we have Wraiths. In this box you get 10 Wraiths. Wraiths are one of the classic undead. You know, along with skeletons and zombies, for me, Wraiths are the next thing that you get. A Wraith is just a Scottish word for ghost, but classically around the wargaming and fantasy gaming genre, Wraiths have came with size, and they've floated across the board, and they've had the whole ethereal of anything. Unlike zombies and skeletons, they've always been ethereal, and they've been just classically scary things. In the box, you get your bases, and you get 2 of these little bags of Wraiths. We'll open one of them up, and we'll see what we think. Oh, put them all out. These all seem to be pretty much 2-piece models, 2 to 3 pieces maximum. All our Wraiths are very tall and slender. The classic Wraith sort of long cloak floating just above the ground, across the board. Nothing stops them, walls, doors. There's no point running in behind a wall to try and stop a Wraith, because he'll float through it. You even get Wraiths in 40k and things like that there. Here's a Wraith with some sort of blade. Generally, these sort of things you'll be painting really eerie green, you know, semi-translucent if you possibly can. Here we have another guy. This is just, again, another guy that needs 2 arms stuck on him. But again, classic Wraith look off him, floating just up off his base. Again, straightforward little model. Then we have one of our Wraiths here, who's coming in, the 1-piece, scythe and all attached to him. For me, the scythe is a classic weapon. Forget swords or anything else. Scythes and Wraiths just do it. And here we have another Wraith with a sword. These Wraiths being basically just a ghost, except a Wraith for me was always more than a ghost that just come along and went, ooh, I'm really scary. A Wraith come along with a big weapon and went, ooh, slicey, slicey, yeah, you're very dead. Here we have the scythe, and here we have a few of the other little arms and bits, especially like this one with the finger pointing towards you as if say, I'm coming and you're my target. Here, chain with a skull, a mace type weapon, and a skull in the hand. Classic skull in the hand, coming to take your soul from you. Guys, I'm going to go build a few of my Wraiths now, and we'll see what they look like in the second half of our video. See you then. Guys, now I have my little Wraiths built. My little ghosts are going to go floating across the board and scare and slice and dice all at the same time. Here is our classic Wraith for me with a scythe. He looks like death as far as I'm concerned. Floating about. He's going to come, he's going to reap your soul, and he's going to kill you. This is our first of our little Wraiths. Second one, this guy here has got a large sword. He's floating across the board, and he's almost like in a combat stance, but I don't know why Wraiths would ever need a combat stance. I don't think that's what they do, really. But he's got a cool, big sword. I'm a fan of swords. Not as good as axes, but swords will do. Again, floating across that ethereal type look. Straightforward little model. No issues with him at all. This is our next guy. He's got, which I think is the most evil looking of all the weapons, like a sword that's either rusted away or it's probably just pure evil sort of sword altogether. Again, he has that Wraith pose floating across the board. He's a bit forward, but I don't know, I always saw Wraiths as big statuesque up and down guys. We have our next guy who has finger pointing out evilly. I'm going to get you, which I think is actually quite cool. You get a couple of arms like that. Again, straightforward little model, couple of arms stuck on him. He does his job without a doubt. And the last guy has got a skull. He's coming with you. He's showing you, I've got a skull. Look at this. He's got his mace type weapon beside in his other arm that he's going to give you a crack in the head with. Again, has that whole Wraith type, floaty type look off him. that Wraiths do float around, float through walls. Obviously, all these weapons would have to be like ethereal type weapons, because you couldn't have a big sword and then go floating up the, have to go floating through doors to get your sword to come with you. But guys, it's up to you. What do you think of these Wraiths? Are they cool, or what do you reckon? I'm going to go on, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.